we focus our team on listening to the customer, finding out what their needs are.
Natural gas was always there, where a lot of times electricity wasn't.
See you, man. I have shaking hands.
No.
Hey, no, so I know that obviously with things that happen, severe weather is a big deal nowadays, right?
Yes.
And the gas industry, obviously we have to be able to be resilient. We have to make sure that our infrastructure is resilient, this, that. I mean, it's kind of a big topic. So with that topic being thought of and being like top of the mind, right? How do you feel like that the gas industry stays ahead? How do you feel like that it's more resilient than any other type of utility?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, natural gas, for the most part, is unseen, right?
Yeah.
And, the large amount of infrastructure is all underground. I mean, you see the risers, you see the meters at the house, the regulator. But other than that, I mean, it's all underground by and large. You've got your gas plants and things like that you can visibly see. But I feel like that certainly aids in the resiliency of natural gas. You see the large power poles. And, I saw the other day, the state of Texas had the most natural disasters of any state in the country. And so you think about floods, you think about hurricanes, tornadoes, winter storms. So I feel like the infrastructure and the fact that natural gas is, largely buried, leads to some resiliency that some of the other, electricity, for instance, doesn't have.
Makes a lot of sense. I think you were telling me the other day, like when you were growing up and living way out on the farm.
Yep.
Electricity might go out, might not have a lot of other things, but you always had gas to your house. So you could warm it, you could do those types of things.
It was crazy. I mean, we lived at the end of the power line, so literally we're the last one. Growing up, winter storms out in the Texas Panhandle, we'd have tornadoes, you name it, and it always knocked power out.
Yeah.
But I remember as a kid coming up to the stove and you see the flames going, mom's, heating some water, getting some dinner going. But it was crazy. Natural gas was always there, where a lot of times electricity wasn't. So.
Yeah. And I feel like the natural gas industry has done a really good job of making sure they can become redundant now, right? And there's not as many of those endpoints that are sitting out there.
Right.
When we have to squeeze off something, in other words, close something off because of a catastrophe or a disaster and all, we can still get gas in through another route. So having redundancy, that's been a big deal with it. And I think the gas industry is also kind of trying to figure out a way to lead the way with new technology on some things,
Right.
Knowing where stuff is in their infrastructure and in their system.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important, having as-built, having the stuff built. That way they know right where to go turn off that valve, what valve next, what system.
Yep.
That's all been...
Yeah, I feel like as these utilities upgrade their systems, HDPE or high-density polyethylene pipe is becoming more of the norm. They used to be cast iron, ABS, PVC. That infrastructure is going away. They're being replaced. And so a lot of times, I see it in my hometown, they're actually inserting HDPE through old steel lines. So whenever they do that, it creates, a more robust infrastructure because of the longevity of HDPE. But they're also being able to utilize the resources.
So, and also, do you think that the utilities are doing a pretty good job of keeping the mindset of their customers as to you'll always have gas and you'll always... I think they're doing a lot better job of marketing their services to the end customer. And I think that's important for an industry because I think the industry needs to understand that it's a reliable and very quickly flexible system.
Yes.
Right? When you start talking about resiliency, you need to be able to turn things on and off quickly. You need to be able to get something over here, get something over there. And I think the gas industry is doing a very good job of getting to that place now with the way they're designing their systems.
Yeah, they're really quick to act in an emergency. They can isolate sections of pipe now with inline valves. If there's a line strike or something like that, they're really quick to come and take care of that and keep other customers on so they don't have to shut them down.
Right. So you think, what is a company like ours, how do we contribute to that part of that resiliency, right? What is our role? I feel like our role is a lot more in the equipment and the tooling and those types of things, right? So always trying to make sure that it's safe to be used. It's always trying to make sure that it's going to work in an emergency situation and those things. And I think that's important for the industry. And I think that, the associations that like you deal, you're on TGA, you get involved with those associations a lot, and y'all have those discussions about how do we make sure we can react to those disasters quickly.
Yeah.
And part of that is our equipment going to work?
Right.
Is our squeeze tool going to work? Is all those other things? And I think it's important for the entire industry to be pushing forward, things that will make that better for them, make those tools readily available for them, right?
Yeah. And I think, one good thing that we've been able to aid some of our customers in is just the emergency trailers.
Right.
So they have emergency response trailers that, in a case of emergency, they'll bring that trailer out to a job site. They'll mobilize. They'll have teams that can come in. They've got equipment on there. They've got pipe valve fittings, things of that nature. So it's been kind of fun to partner with some of our customers to build those out.
Right.
I think that's kind of an interesting solution to something you don't think about every day.
Right, and those are, it's important to be able to do those things. Once again, solutions, right?
Yep.
We hope that the industry is always looking for ways to have better solutions. I know that we focus our team on listening to the customer, finding out what their needs are, and go help them with those solutions, right? And hopefully it's about building a better infrastructure when it's all said and done. Yeah, for sure. So what do you think that these utilities are doing for more preparedness, right? For these types of natural disasters that possibly happen, or any type of thing that could possibly happen, right? How are they preparing themselves?
Honestly, I think it really starts with the source of the natural gas. A lot of these low pressure distribution companies that we do serve, they're getting their natural gas from multiple midstream companies, right? Not just one. So they're trying to have a couple different options, in the event that one of those go down or lose pressure, all the way to the fact that they're trying to loop their systems now. So instead of a single way feed, into a house or a residential area, commercial district, they're going to try to have a loop system. So if there is a line strike or something goes down, it's a two-way feed and they don't lose everybody. They're starting to input or insert pipe underground through old aging infrastructure, like I mentioned. And so, one of the things that even in my hometown they've started to add are valves, so polyethylene valves, throughout the downtown area, so that they can isolate.
Yes.
If they need to upgrade something, if they need to shut something off, it's not shutting everybody down. So it's just, I think it adds to the robust distribution in that area.
And then adding the technology on top of that with SCADA systems and AMI and AMR, so that they're always aware of what's going on in their system, right?
Yeah.
That awareness and that monitoring allows them to know that infrastructure they put in place and those loops that they put in place, those valves, knowing which one to shut.
Right.
That's the big deal, right? That all that information coming in has got to be somewhere so that they can go react to it quickly and make the right decisions.
That's right.
So all that's important for our industry, man. As our industry keeps growing, and it's an industry that it's kind of perplexing, right? It's needed by everybody, and you don't always realize it's needed by everybody.
But it's also under fire,
100%,
and I feel like, you and I know, we see it every day. These companies are out there, providing reliable natural gas, reliable energy to communities all across the country. Yet, for some reason, natural gas tends to get a bad rap. But
the public tends to take it for granted in places too, right?
Yes.
And it's so good that our systems and our innovation and our technology is getting to the place where they can do that a little bit. And these LDCs that we work with, hopefully they continue to keep doing that, keep improving the industry, and everybody realizes how good of an industry it is, how important of an industry it is, so we can continue to provide these services to everybody.
Absolutely.